Guys, C.T. Studd was one of the great Christians of all time. And C.T. Studd once wrote a little pamphlet called The Chocolate Soldier. And the idea of the chocolate soldier was, at the time, they were selling these chocolates and they were wrapped in foil and they looked like little soldiers. And he said that's a perfect picture of your typical Christian. Because most Christians, they look great on the outside. They've got all the wrapping of being a Christian, but the truth is you put them in heat and they melt. Now that might be true for a lot of Christians, but not for every Christian. And I've no doubt there are some of you guys whose hearts are burning with a passion to be used by God. And if that's the case, what can you be doing? Here are 4 things that you can be doing. Guys, the first thing is you can train like you want to be used. William Carey, he is one of the fathers of modern mission movements. And William Carey, long before he ever went over to India and translated the Bible into like 30 different languages, he was a cobbler and he was in England. And at night, when everybody else was hanging out at the pub and just having a good time, he was at his home and he was studying Greek, he was studying Hebrew, he was studying Latin. All of his neighbors thought he was crazy. Why does a shoemaker need all of this knowledge? Now let me ask you this. Is it accidental that God used him to go and do that pioneer work of missions? Not at all. The man was training like he was wanting to be used, and God used him. Guys, here's a second thing you can be doing. You can ask God to give you a shovel. George Patton, the great general of World War II, he once gave a speech where he told his men, he said, hey, look, these were guys about to head over into Europe to combat. He said, imagine the day 20 years from now when you've got your grandson, he's sitting on your knee, and you're sitting in front of the fire, and your grandson looks up in your eyes and says, Granddaddy, what did you do to help win the Great War? And Patton said, well, guys, you're not going to have to look down at your feet, cough, shift them to your other knee, and say, well, son, I shoveled manure in Louisiana. Now, Patton's point was that there was shame in carrying a shovel. And that might be true in the U.S. military, that might be true in worldly affairs, but guys, in the kingdom of God, there is no shame in doing the dirty work that no one else is willing to do. Dawson Trotman used to tell his men, don't do what everybody else is willing to do. You find the thing that nobody else wants to do and go and ask God to send you there. Guys, you want to serve God? Ask him for a shovel. Here's a third thing you can be doing. Guys, you can clear out your junk drawer. All of us have mess already in our life. Often it sounds a whole lot more exciting to go across the ocean and serve God elsewhere. Start with the mess that's right in front of you. Deal with the sin in your heart. Deal with the relationships around you. And guys, as God begins to renew you, guess what? He's going to call you to do more. And guys, here's the last thing. Let me encourage you to never say no to God. It's a wonderful old hymn that's been revived in recent years. It says, we bear the torch that flaming fell from the hands of those who gave their lives proclaiming that Jesus died and rose. Ours is the same commission, the same glad message ours, fired by the same ambition. To thee we yield our powers. We go to all the world. Guys, we bear a torch that's flaming. It's passed from the hands of those who gave their life to Jesus. They were willing to give him everything. Don't say no to the King. If your heart is willing to submit to him, well, guys, he's going to send you out. He's going to use you. God bless you.